This is one of my fun 32 Fords, a little 32 Roadster, painted with DP90. And I first termed it the Rusty. I called it Rusty because I had bumpers from the originals that we restored that had rust on them, just various things like that. But I just kept high grading, so it's not quite so rusty now. But it's a neat car, and I've had the opportunity to drive it to the LA Roadster Show a number of times. It's got a 347 stroker with a C4 automatic, so it runs with the group. And usually we had in the past had 4 to 6 fellows go together. It's really better if there's just about 4 as far as sticking together. One of my dear friends always kind of led the group because he felt like he had to be going at least 80 miles an hour and he wanted to be ahead. So we stretched them out pretty good. And it's a stretch to get to LA from Houston. And when we would get to El Paso, we're about halfway there. We really didn't want to spend the night in El Paso, so we would go on into Phoenix and stay generally with friends. Good, long, hard day, but lots of fun. And then we'd look forward to getting up early the next morning to go into LA, because it's so interesting that you drive across the desert there early morning, and it was just almost cold. And I can remember driving along and putting my hands down near the shifter just to warm them. But it's use of a lot of old parts, trying to keep it in the 50s era. It's got a 1955 steering wheel, Thunderbird steering wheel. It's got a 1956 Ford steering column. It's got the 56 Ford steering box, and just a very reliable little small block Ford engine, and runs out very nice. It's neat to have one like this because if there is anything that happens to it, you know, you can really just take barbecue paint spray and do a little panel repairs, keep it looking nice, and it certainly looks hot rod. So it's been a very fun little Roadster. And when I look at this car, or even when I'm driving it, I think of our dear friend Stan Wanless, and you know, he's a sculptor out of Salt Lake City. And one of his sculptures that I have is First Love, and I love that story. You know, which is it? Is it the car or the girl? And one thing that's fun about that is I got to know Dick Rodwell, and that's one of his 5-window coupes that he had built. And he and Stan are good friends. And I asked, who's the girl? And Stan said, well, that's my girlfriend there in high school. She's a cheerleader. Well, the neat story about that is that girl ended up being Dick Rodwell's first wife. He married her. And then I was really interested in knowing, okay, where is she? You know, pictures, that sort of thing, because I just love associating the cars or art with the people. And unfortunately, she had passed away. But neat story, and it's neat how Dick and Stan became such close friends. But when I drive this car, I just think about Stan Wanless, high school, having a 32 Ford Roadster and being able to zip around in Salt Lake City in the summer times, and thinking about all the rod runs that were around there in California. So yeah, it's just very nostalgic to drive this car on the highway, and long distances especially. You know, I've never been a motorcycle person, but I can understand why that gets in people's blood, because just driving this with being an open car, all the smells, the temperature changes, all that sort of thing just really takes you back to nature, as well as just having the good scent of maybe burn a little bit of good old petro.